What is up, everybody? How's it going? Today, we're talking about three things. We're talking about digital calendars. We're talking about creating a CEO schedule. And we are talking about how to use time blocking. We talked about on Monday the mindset that is required to be able to really organize your time and have more time freedom. So much of this, you're going to hear me say over and over again, because so much of this is practice. So much of this is developing good habits. So much of this is um, raising your vibration and learning how to keep your vibration raised. So much of this is making choices and decisions and installing systems that help you to make choices and decisions faster and easier. So, all of these things that we've been talking about still hold true. Today, we're just going to dive into some specific tools that you can use online. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the digital calendar. Oh my gosh, I can't even begin to describe how much my life has gotten simplified now that I'm using a digital calendar. And there's so many things that I resist, you all. I mean, there's so many things that I have been resistant to for years. And I guess it was back last year, I don't know, mid-year or closer to somewhere between mid-year and late last year, I started using Acuity. Now, I tried Calendly, and I know a lot of people love Calendly. I know a lot of people get benefits from Calendly, and there's tons of other digital calendars you can use that are great. I like Acuity. To me, it's simpler, it's easier. It was very easy for me to set up, it's very easy for me to understand. And I keep learning new features. There's all kinds of features that are available in Acuity. And I'm going to show you mine in just a moment, but I keep learning more about the features that are helpful with that. So I suggest getting a digital calendar for several reasons. One of them is to put everything in one place, right? Where you've got your calendar, where you've got your appointments, and you've also got your strategic calendar or your time blocking, so that you know what you should be doing and want to be doing, every hour of your workday, and you can even schedule in things outside of your workday as well. So there is a freedom to having that all in one place. One of the other big benefits of having a digital calendar is that you can send a link to somebody and you can set up your different appointment types for different time blocks that you want to be available. And you can then just send a calendar link to a person a potential client, to a current client that you have, or a customer. If you need to have a meeting for trainings that you're doing, for if you have a coach or some kind of training program you're in, you can put those in there. But being able to send those calendar links to people are super powerful, because then you don't have to figure out schedules, right? If you've ever gone back and forth trying to figure out schedules with somebody, I mean, even just one person, let alone, trying to corral multiple people together, that gets crazy. So whenever you can just send a link to somebody, it's very powerful, because they will check out your availability, choose a time that works for them, book it, bam, done, right? So I think about all the time that I've saved in the last probably 6 months since I committed and got a digital calendar. It's been huge, right? So that in and of itself, just if you take nothing else from this video today, other than getting a digital calendar and using it and setting it up and using it consistently, is going to save you more and more time as you're interacting with more people, setting up more appointments, setting up appointments with potential clients or current clients. It's huge. Now, let's look at the CEO schedule and time blocking. And this was another thing that I have recently implemented that I was resistant to. This is my current week, and this is my CEO schedule in Acuity. And there's a lot of stuff here, right? So as you can see, I've got it color coded. So all of the sort of deep yellow, orange, these are all my workflow time blocks. You can see stuff on here like respond to emails, which I do first thing in the morning, and I knock that out. And I have at least 30 to 60 minutes of doing that. Lately, this last few days, I haven't needed all that time, but I like to block it out in case I do need it. And that way, I can respond to anything that needs to be responded to. I can send out any emails that I have to send out, and I can then let it go for most of the rest of the day and focus on other work. I do sometimes check in briefly to my emails, and sometimes I'll just, if it's something that takes literally a few seconds to delete or 30 seconds to respond to, I might do that just so I can keep my emails freed up, and I'll talk more about that on Friday. Anyway, I like to put those blocks in there. We'll talk more about all that on Friday. But I do been doing my content creation and planning for my social media has been going on a lot of times in the morning when I'm fresh and when I'm kind of excited about it. Um, as you see, there's social selling stuff, which I might be talking about next week when I talk about, I think I'm going to do a mini series on how to get clients and what I'm doing with that. I'm doing some group tracking training videos, which is a cool CRM I just purchased recently about a week or two ago, and using that, recording podcast solo episode, right? There's all kinds of stuff here. So the blue that I have here is the coaching program that I'm in. These are some of there's so many different trainings and live calls I can go on with them, but I blocked out the ones that are most important to me. My office hours, I'm with my advisor, and some other important trainings I want to be at. As you can see on the orange in the 1 p.m. every day, I'm doing this this specific training or mini series for you guys. And then the red are my clients or coaching calls that I've committed to with people. And then the pink are connect calls or consult calls where I'm helping people kind of find out what if they're going to be a good fit for the business, and kind of learning about them and how I can help them further. And then the lavender color are miscellaneous things. So I've got some other trainings and my upgrade your sleep and the a podcasters connect group that's a networking group I'm going to, some other trainings, some other networking groups. um, just a lot of different things in that way. And there's other things I have that have other colors that you don't see because they're not on here this week. But the whole point of this is that you need to have you need to have some way to block your time off and know what you're doing ahead of time. And again, I resisted this like the plague, right? So I resisted this so hard. And yet at the same time, I knew I really wanted it, because when you know ahead of time what your schedule is going to be and what you're going to be focusing on, it can free you up so that you're not worrying about doing something else, right? So you can dedicate 60-minute blocks or 90-minute blocks or 2-hour blocks. I mean, I like to work in 60-minute blocks. And what you don't see on here that you can certainly put in is you can actually schedule in breaks, naps, walks, lunch, snacks, whatever you need to do. I just tend to take those when I feel like it, because I'm usually not needing this entire time for this block, or certainly 3 blocks in a row, 4 blocks in a row. I don't necessarily need all of that time for everything that's on there in a given day, but I do tend to commit to most of that time. And then if I need to stop, go to the bathroom, eat something, maybe step outside, get some fresh air, go for a walk, or even take a nap, which I love, 10-minute power naps, get me where I am can be focused again rather than trying to do work when I'm tired or groggy, right? So you can plan those in, but the point here is that you need to block off um, a, the time that you want to be focused and what you want to be doing with it. And what I've noticed as I've gradually put more of this into play, and as I've gradually surrendered to this style of using a calendar, blocking my time, it has become much more. I feel more productive. Like this week, I'm probably doing better than I've ever done with this, and even with a couple days of being really tired from my new sleep schedule, I still feel like I'm incredibly productive, and I've actually accomplished several things that in previous weeks I have failed to accomplish, or that I've felt like I was behind on, and I feel like I'm either caught up or getting caught up and being more where I want to be using this schedule. One of the places that I first learned about that I first really felt like I learned about time blocking was The One Thing by Gary Keller. And this is a fantastic book. Um, it's not everything in here is going to apply to everyone, because he talks about, having your greatest energy in the morning, and that it diminishes as you go. And that's not necessarily true for everybody. Some people get their energy ramped up by afternoon, some people more in the evening, and there's all in between. So that part may apply to some people more than others, but what he does talk about is time blocking. And that time blocking is exactly what I just showed you on the screen and on my calendar, where you're choosing specific times. And this is a little bit different now when you read David Allen's stuff on getting things done. He's got a different theory or a different practice. His practice is that you make lists, and that you only put calendars on your thing, put items on your calendar for the absolute meetings that have to happen, right? That's his theory. And I tried that for several years, and some of it worked and sometimes it didn't. So for me, doing this time blocking has been way better. Why? Because I don't want to have to think about what I need to be doing. I want to be saying, "Oh, now's the time to uh, go into other go into other Facebook groups and network and connect with people and drop comments and possibly drop some DMs and make friends and generate some leads." Right? I want to know that that's what I'm doing for the next hour. I want to know that I'm checking emails for the next 30 minutes, or 30 minutes or an hour, and I'm responding to them, and I don't have to worry about missing something else. I want to know that I am creating content in my social media for an hour, and I don't have to think about, wait, what else should I be doing? Am I missing something? I took time on Sunday to fill in all my workflow and all the absolute necessities, and then I left spaces open for people to book calls with me if they hadn't booked anything, which is like the light pink or the pink, and then some of the red, except for this weekly group call, which is where the group coaching I do with my clients every week. So people still had some spaces to put things in, and I can always delete some of these or rearrange them if I want to make space for other calls. But I don't want to sacrifice my sense of order and my sense of productivity when I have plenty of spaces for people to sign up for things. And if not, we can always, like I said, we can always change that, and I can always open up more possibilities. So that is the cool thing about this process. And I'll just kind of wrap this up, is with time blocking, with strategic calendars or CEO schedule, all pretty much the same thing. You are taking command of your time. You're deciding, and if you want to use a law of attraction term, you're pre-paving what you're going to be doing. You are using your visualization, and you're setting into motion what you're going to be doing. And there's certainly other ways to go deeper with this, like having the specific actions that you want to be doing in those time blocks. And you can have that on a piece of paper, or you can have that in some other form. But the main thing is that for that period of time, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours, that you are going to be working on specific things and having a specific focus. And then also, you know where your meetings are, you know where your trainings are for yourself, for other people, you know where your client calls are, everything speeds up time, keeps everything organized in your mind, saves a lot of energy, and enables you to be very productive every day and throughout the week. So if anybody has questions about that, feel free to drop a comment in the Facebook group. I'd love to get a conversation started. If anybody else has questions, again, drop them in the Facebook group. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to help you with them. And I hope you guys found this really useful. I know for me, this has been, all of these things have been life changing and just super game changers for making my life more fluid, easier, faster, and more fun. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow, and when we'll be talking about some other digital tools you can use. Until then, be invincible.